The House of the Dead. A story by E.B.'s Heart. Timmy and his friends have been creeping into the homes of the wealthy families around their area to steal whenever they were not around. In the eyes of their neighbors, Timmy, who owned a barber's saloon, was a hard-working young man, while his two friends, Bona and Daniel, were selling boutique around the same area. But what gave them money was more than that, as they were into home burglary. Then one day, one of the wealthiest men around the neighborhood, Chief Kiko, lost his wife. Everyone was surprised since that was the fourth wife he had lost just within a few years. While most people were scared to even near Chief Kiko's home to offer their condolences, Timmy and his friends saw it as an opportunity to inspect Chief Kiko's home to know how to break in and steal things. So the three of them went to Chief Kiko's residence one evening to offer their condolences. Chief Kiko was simply smiling and appeared happy for having someone from within the area visit him. He asked them if they were not afraid of the rumor circulating about him, but Timmy smiled and said, "People are always talking evil about wealthy people, so it is nothing new." As they talked, Timmy noticed that Chief Kiko's children were just sitting in the dining table and were not moving. Even though the dining was dark with just a candle on the table, he could still swear they were not breathing or moving. "Oh, your children are around," Timmy said to Chief Kiko, smiling. Chief Kiko looked towards the direction of Timmy's gaze and said, "Oh, they are not here yet. They will be coming tomorrow and we will all travel home next tomorrow." His reply scared Timmy and his friends, as they could clearly see his children sitting and not moving. "We are leaving," Timmy said and stood up with his friends. "Did you see that, his children in the dining?" Timmy asked with surprise. "Yes, I saw them," Bona and Daniel said at once. "Why is he lying about them not being around? All these rich men can be weird," Daniel said and sighed. "All I know is that this house is our next stop to break into. Once they leave by next tomorrow for his wife's burial, we will come and clear everything," Timmy said, and they all laughed. "Did you see that golden sculpture in his living room? That could fetch us millions," Bona said, smiling. "Even the tiny diamonds they used to design his own painting, that will also fetch us a lot," Daniel added. "You guys should not worry, we will make millions from this house. You know we have been looking for a way to enter there, so this is our chance," Timmy said and laughed heartily. 2 days later, Timmy and his friends hung around Chief Kiko's house, watching them pack a lot of things in a truck and left. Once it was dark, the three friends dressed in their usual attire with mask and climbed Chief Kiko's fence. And as expected, the doors were locked, the lights off, and everywhere was dead silent. They climbed the windows until they were at the back balcony upstairs. The house, being a simple duplex, made it easier for them to climb to the balcony. They entered through the ceiling and laughed heartily while shaking hands that they were going to be rich. "Everywhere is so dark, so let's just use our torchlight instead of putting the lights on," Timmy suggested. They took their time searching the rooms upstairs. They saw so many gold watches and jewelries. Then it was time to check what was downstairs. However, when they came downstairs, they could perceive a very good aroma of food. "How is that even possible?" Bona asked. "I think someone is here," Timmy said while pointing at a table filled with variety of dishes. They listened further and heard tap running and plates sound in the kitchen. "Who could that be?" Timmy said, while they all tiptoed towards the kitchen to know who was there. When they peeped, they saw a pot of food boiling on fire and a long black dress on the floor. They wanted to look further but noticed that the cloth was moving. So that was someone's cloth. They became really terrified and followed the cloth as it moved. Timmy rushed into the kitchen to see the face of the person wearing it, but the person seemed to be too tall and far to be seen. Suddenly, the person turned, and the face they saw scared them so much that they all screamed while running and throwing everything they had stolen away. "How can the dead Mrs. Kiko, whose obituary picture is everywhere, be here, dressed like that and cooking?" Timmy asked, feeling his wet trousers where he had peed on himself. Bona, who was easily scared, started gasping for breath as if he was having an asthma attack. "Let us leave here, I am so scared," Bona said, breathing fast. "Shut up," Timmy said, as Mrs. Kiko's loud footsteps were coming towards them. Her footsteps sounded like something from another realm. They all held their breath, shaking with fear. She dragged a chair and sat down at the dining table, and her spoon started clicking the plate in front of her. "Wait, is she eating?" Daniel asked with his eyes wide in shock. "Guys, the staircase is over there, we need to crawl to the stair. Once we get upstairs, we will enter the ceiling and run for our lives." "I don't know what is happening here," Timmy said while cleaning his sweaty palms on his shirt. But nothing prepared them for the next thing they heard. "Junior, are you enjoying the meal?" Mrs. Kiko said while giggling so loudly. It then dawned on Timmy and his friends that Mrs. Kiko was not alone at the dining table. "No wonder there were so many food on the table," Timmy said, while sweat trickled down his forehead. They watched as Mrs. Kiko chatted happily with unseen people at the dining. Then she stood up after some minutes and walked into the kitchen. "Now follow me," Timmy said, and started to crawl as quietly as he could towards the staircase. They all managed to climb upstairs and were happy. But when they looked up to the ceiling where they had come in from, they discovered it had been sealed with concrete. They saw an open door that was supposed to lead to the balcony and followed it. When they got to where the balcony was supposed to be, they saw a wall. "This can't be happening. There was a balcony here, and we came in through the ceiling. Why is there wall everywhere now?" Timmy asked, almost crying. They started going into all the rooms, looking for a window to see if they could go out through there. "No window. How?" Bona cried. "Let us go down and follow the front door. At least I saw a door. We will break it and run out of there. Once we are outside, we will jump the fence," Daniel suggested confidently. "What about Mrs. Kiko? Don't you think she will see us?" Timmy chipped in. "I don't think she is seeing us. Besides, we are stronger than her even if she sees us," Daniel added. "Are you that dumb? Do you think she is human? Didn't you see her obituary? She is dead. And didn't you hear her talking to unseen people and eating with them?" Timmy said in fear. "Then watch me leave. I cannot die inside here. I don't know what Chief Kiko did here that is turning the house into a trap," Daniel said, and started walking down the stairs slowly. Bona and Timmy stayed back, hoping he succeeds so they can follow him. Daniel was happy when he saw a door. He smiled and slowly tiptoed towards the door to know if it would open. But immediately he touched the door, he vanished, while Timmy and Bona watched in shock. "What was that? Did he just vanish?" Timmy stammered, crying. Bona and Timmy both sat on the ground crying. Timmy then remembered he came with his phone and smiled. The rest had left their phones because they thought they won't be needing it. He quickly put hands inside his pocket and brought out his phone and smiled. But once he tried to use the phone, it turned into a rock. Timmy didn't know when he threw the rock away on the ground and it made a loud noise, making Mrs. Kiko stop abruptly from her noisy chatter. She stood up from the chair as if someone was controlling her. Her shoes sounded weirdly on the floor. She started walking upstairs. "She is coming here, we are dead," Timmy said and shook Bona, who was already frozen due to fear. "Follow me." He ran into one of the rooms and they both hid behind the curtain. Mrs. Kiko's footsteps continued echoing through the stairs until it got to where they were hiding and stopped. Timmy peed on himself the second time. "I don't want to vanish like Daniel, my mother will die, I am her first son. God please if you save me this one time, I will never steal again, I will never break into people's home again." He was praying with his eyes closed when they heard Mrs. Kiko's footsteps walking away from where they were hiding. The prayer worked, the prayer worked. "Let us keep praying and hope nothing happens to us until it is daybreak," Timmy suggested to Bona, who has been shedding tears. They both held hands and started praying. After what seemed like an hour, they stopped and sat down on the bed inside the room, hoping for daybreak. "How do we know it's morning when there are no windows or even ceiling?" Bona asked in tears. They were still talking when the door to the room they just entered turned into a concrete wall right before their eyes. Timmy screamed and rushed towards the wall, hitting it with his hands in anger. They were still crying and walking about inside the room when they heard the sound of a car at a distance. The wall made it hard for them to hear things well. It felt like people were coming into the house. Timmy and Bona both started shouting, "Help! Help! We are trapped in here, help us." Then suddenly, the walls on the windows and doors disappeared and Timmy ran out immediately. "Oh, it is morning," he said and tried to turn around to run towards where they had come in from. But a very disturbing sight greeted him. He saw so many people watching him. He became startled and said, "I am not a thief, my friends, and I only came to check some things in the house while Chief was away. So we are leaving, we didn't take anything." Timmy continued talking while going towards the open balcony that was closed earlier. When he got to the balcony, he hit his head on an invincible barrier. "What is this?" he asked and pushed his body hard towards the unseen barrier. They were hitting the barrier when they heard laughter downstairs and came to check who it was. Chief Kiko was sitting in the living room, talking with two young women whom he picked from somewhere. From their discussion, they followed Chief home from a nightclub. "You are trapped for life," one of the people watching them said while pointing his hand around. "Look around you, we are too many inside here." "Follow me," the man said, and Timmy followed him slowly. He took Timmy and Bona to the other rooms and said, "Everyone here came in to either steal or were brought in here by Chief Kiko for one shady business or the other. As you are now, you are neither dead nor alive, you are just stuck in between." The man continued explaining while Timmy and Bona looked into the room in shock. They saw a lot of people dying and very weak. Some of them were already skeletons while some were so thin and couldn't move. Timmy looked inside and saw his younger sister, who disappeared 2 years ago, lying on the floor very dead. He shouted, but just as he shouted, he heard the door opening downstairs again and looked. His younger brother was standing in the living room, talking with Chief Kiko with a smile. Timmy, in panic, started running downstairs to talk to his brother to leave, but when he got downstairs, he found out his brother cannot see him, let alone hear him. He was invisible. "Stop, you are wasting your time. He cannot hear you. Chief Kiko feeds this house. The house is alive and eats us one after the other, just like your friend that disappeared earlier. On the outside, Chief's family leave here and go to school and his wife goes to work, but it is not real, they are not real. The obituary of the woman you saw was his first wife who died years ago in this house. She was the first person the house took, along with their children. So the people you see all the time as his family are kind of ghosts. On the inside, the house breathes and eats like a human being. He married another woman after making money. The woman he married later lives abroad with his children. I know all these because I was his driver before he used me for stealing ordinary ring," the man said with anger. "The dead wife you saw cooking earlier is dead and stuck here like us, but she doesn't see us, and I don't know why, but we see her. Chief announces her death from time to lure people into this house. I and a few others tried so hard to show you we are here. We appeared in the dining table, but you still didn't get it," the man said, making Timmy remember what he saw the day he and his friends came to condole with Chief Kiko. "The house produces gold for Chief Kiko, so anytime the house swallows some of us, there will be gold wristwatches, gold jewelries, even gold sculptures to entice the next thief," the man continued, telling Timmy and Bona the story. "But I must not let my brother remain here, he is the only sibling I have left. I will do everything possible to let him see me, so that he can take action," Timmy said, frowning. "But one thing about the house is that it does not take someone who is innocent, only those who steal. So as long as your brother doesn't take anything, the house can never affect him." After Timmy had tried everything possible to show himself to his brother and failed, he hoped that his brother would not take anything that does not belong to him. "But why did my brother even come here? What business does he have with Chief Kiko?" Timmy thought silently. Timmy saw one of the prisoners disappear again, and a gold wrist watch appeared in his place very close to his brother. "He is tempting your brother the way he tempted you and your friends. If your brother touches the gold watch, the house will trap him," the man said, watching eagerly to see what would happen. After a while, Timmy's brother stood up and tried to leave. The gold watch appeared right next to where he was sitting, and he was so shocked to see another gold watch very close to him. The invincible Timmy was shouting in his ear, "Do not take it. Do not take it, you will be trapped if you do." But his brother stylishly took the watch and put it in his pocket. He stood up, bowed to Chief, and headed towards the door. Once he touched the door, he disappeared. Timmy shouted, "No. This can't be happening. My brother and sister cannot be lost in here. Where could my brother be?" Timmy asked the man, crying, "Why did he disappear and not be invincible like us? He is already a bundle of cash somewhere or another gold watch in Chief's briefcase," the man said while he shook his head. Timmy slumped on the floor and wept bitterly. He never saw stealing as a bad thing, but with what he had seen, he wished his family were not so quick on taking what does not belong to them. He was still on the floor crying when a loud bang on the gate startled them, including Chief. "Ochuko, come out, what are you doing inside this place since I sent you on an errand?" A woman's voice shouted angrily from the gate, while she banged aggressively. "My mother. That is my mother," Timmy said while tears fell freely from his eyes. Chief tried to ignore the knock, but when he noticed that people were joining the woman to knock, he decided to go and tell her that her son was not in his house. Once he opened the door, Timmy started screaming, "Mama," hoping his mother will somehow hear him. "Why are you disturbing the peace of my home? Your son is not here. What gave you the right to think he is in here?" Chief asked while trying to call the police on the phone. "People saw him enter here, and apart from that, look at his bicycle in front of your gate. I bet you didn't know he came with something," Timmy's mother said while looking at Chief's shocked face. "Help! Help!" Timmy's mother began screaming on top of her voice. Gradually people started gathering to know what was happening. "Your son is not in here. What kind of embarrassment is this?" Chief Kiko frowned. "DPO, I need some men at my residence in Jamina Street. Some thieves are trying to break into my home," Chief Kiko said over the phone with a frown. "There have been rumor about people going into your house and were never seen again, so it is time for us to see what is inside this house," a man spoke from the few people that have already gathered. Within some minutes, the entire street were already at Chief's gate shouting, "Open this gate! Open this gate!" Chief came inside and started gathering all the cash and gold littered in various positions of the house while Timmy watched. "Is it not better we stop him? He is leaving," Timmy said angrily. But the man shook his head in pain and said, "You don't get it. You are a like ghost and cannot do anything. I don't even know if you will survive outside this house. I am sure I may not survive because I have been in here for too long. But you don't know your fate and you think you can fight Chief. Well, go and try," the man said to Timmy, who was boiling with anger. Within some minutes, police officers arrived and dispersed the crowd. They escorted Chief, who was carrying about 4 big bags, filled with cash and gold. "Once you don't touch the front door to leave with something in your pocket, you may not disappear, but you can disappear at any point to feed the house. That is why you are still here," the man continued talking to Timmy. When Chief finished packing his things, he removed a certain human skull buried in the wall, and the house instantly became very old and dirty. That was the skull of his first wife, the one you met here cooking. He buried it there after buying the house, and since then, the house has taken hundreds of people. The man was still talking when he disappeared before Timmy, and Timmy also fell into darkness. When the police drove out with Chief to shield him from the crowd, Timmy's mother ran inside, shouting her son's name to come out. But everyone was shocked to see an old, dilapidated house in ruin. "Is this where Chief Kiko is living?" everyone gasped, as the house has turned into an old house with no windows or doors. "I was here to condole with him on his wife's death last week." This was not how the house was, a man among the crowd said, looking terrified. The people were still inside the house when it suddenly started falling. They all ran outside and watched as the house fell to the ground with no block standing. It was a mystery that shook the whole neighborhood. Timmy and Bona woke up in a strange place that was like a desert with no house or even tree in sight. It was dark and cold there. Where are we? Bona asked, crying. They got up as something or someone they couldn't see flogged them. They got up and started running. They ran for what seemed like a few hours and fell into a pit, blacking out. Timmy woke up and found himself in a ruined building. He dusted himself and saw Bona doing the same. They were in the fallen chief's property. But everything seemed different and odd. How come the house have fallen? Was it not just few hours ago that we were watching my mother and the others here? Timmy asked while they both walked out and entered their street. Timmy managed to run to his shop to at least change his cloth before going home since his shop was closer, but he met someone there selling food. My shop is now a restaurant. How? It's just been a few hours, how can this be possible? He said. He entered the restaurant and noticed that everything has been rebuilt. He cried and thought, Chief Kiko is still messing with my head, and I cannot allow it. He was standing in deep thought when a man pushed him and shouted excitedly, Timmy, Timmy, is that you? Timmy turned around and saw his cousin that was working with him. Where have you been, Timmy? What happened? His questions threw Timmy off. What do you mean? I left for just a few days and my shop has been turned into this. Timmy asked, frowning. Few days. You were gone for 2 years. Your mother has moved to the village searching for all of you, Ochuko, and even your sister that disappeared years ago. She was told you were the only one still alive and that she needed to do something to bring you back, so she moved to the village ever since. Timmy couldn't believe his ears. He was still standing when his cousin called his mother to inform her that he had returned. The news quickly circulated and people came to see Timmy themselves. He told them all that happened to him and how Chief Kiko have been the one responsible for all the disappearances in their neighborhood. He also heard that Chief Kiko was now a known politician and that anyone who spoke of him was thrown into prison, so he was advised to stop accusing Chief Kiko without proof. Timmy traveled to the village to see his mother who was eagerly waiting for him. When his mother heard how everything happened, she blamed herself for how she knew Timmy was the one breaking into people's homes in their neighborhood and refused to caution or stop him. She told Timmy she already knew that her only daughter and Ochuko were long dead. Her only daughter met Chief during hookup and when Chief brought her home, she stole the jewelries Chief kept as a trap for her. Timmy never stole again in his life. Timmy spent the rest of his life warning others about the dangers of greed and crime. But each time he saw Chief Kiko on the television, smiling as a respected politician, he felt the same coldness that haunted the house. Evil was not gone. It had only changed clothes, he would murmur. One single crime is enough to ruin your life forever, so beware.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.